Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Gary A. Swaby, and we are here to give some, thoughts on the Power Book 4 Force trailer that was released, which is the Tommy version of Power, the Tommy follow up, to the rest of the Power, universe and everything. And I'm here with, Mr. Richard Bailey Jr. How are you doing, Rich?
Doing good, Gary. What's up, listeners and viewers?
What's up, indeed? And also from the Powercast, we have Miss Dana Abercrombie. How are you doing, Dana?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited for this. Oh my God, Tommy.
Yeah, yeah. So when we saw this trailer, we couldn't contain our excitement because we love Power. We do a whole show, Powercast. About where we recap Power every single week. So yeah, we're very much looking forward to this. And Dana was actually the one who posted the trailer, on the Koalition.com website. So Dana, is going to basically walk us through, some details about the show, and then we're going to give our reactions to the trailer. So take it away, Dana. Let us know.
All right, so here's what we got some that's popping. Now, in order to understand this show, we have to go back to the season finale of Power Book 2 Ghost that saw Tommy try to kill Tasha, who's Notori over on Queens now. But we saw that, Tommy tried to kill Tasha, who implicated him in the murder of her husband and his best friend, Ghost, who's played by Amari Hardwick. And we knew that, when his plans failed, he made a deal with Tasha and her son, with Ghost, that Tariq would help him fake his death. Tommy, we know it cannot be trusted at all. So he goes after Tariq, who Ghost is the actual killer, with revenge on his mind. And it seems that Tommy fails again. Monet, who from we're in Power Raising Cain. No, sorry, we're in Power Ghost Book 2. Monet, crept up from behind, and we saw that she was pointing the gun to his head. Remember, he ended up escaping, and in the end, he gets away. And we know that there was a huge explosive car crash that left the regular people, thinking that, oh, he's dead, but we all know he's not dead. Instead, he is just moving to Chicago, where he's going to continue his antics. He's in a new city, he's in a new home, and he finds himself wheeling and dealing in the local drug gang, because this would not be Power if he just got a regular blue collar job. No, 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 no. But this time, we find that Tommy ends up inserting himself into two big crews. Okay, so what they described is that this is a city, Chicago, it's divided by race. And Tommy, he straddles the line. We know that he is a white man, but in his soul, he is a black man. And so he is straddling the line. And he ultimately becomes the linchpin that not only unites them, but holds the power to watch them crumble. So he is the one who is at the center of the power. And Tommy, he uses his outsider status. Remember when he's known in New York, but he uses that outsider status to his advantage, where he's able to break what would be the local rules of the gangs, and he's able to rewrite them on his quest to become the biggest drug dealer in Chicago. So that is basically where we see, Tommy, New York is over, as he stated in the trailer, and that this is his chance to truly shine. And you have him and his signature Ford Mustang. You have the Many Men is not really in the trailer, but in your mind, you're like Many Men. And this is going to be a very interesting show. And that from we see in the trailer, this is a high profile crime family. This is kind of what they alluded to in interviews of the past, was that this is going to be about the mob. So we have the mob of Chicago, and he comes in. He is the mystery man. And remember, it is quoted in the trailer. It says, "What did you find out about the mystery man?" So this is like, we don't know who this guy is. He operates at night. He's an outsider. So this is going to be an entirely different tone. a different feel, especially when you look at the trailer itself from what Power is doing. And it's the evolution of the Power universe. We're not going to get the same thing over and over again. This is going to have its own kind of set of characters, its own feel that kind of, I'm in Chicago, kind of mobster. I'm doing it really bad, but you understand it's a different kind of vibe.
Oh yeah, thanks for that explanation. Yeah, so I guess we're just gonna me and Rich are gonna also give our thoughts on it, and then Dana as well. Just to kind of wrap up, and explain our excitement and things that we're interested in seeing in the show and everything. So Rich, when you saw that trailer, what are some things that stood out to you, and what are some things that you're excited to see?
Well, I was definitely excited by the premise of the show based on the trailer. Tommy, very familiar with New York. So obviously him coming to a place where he's not quite familiar of the ins and outs of Chicago yet. We know initially he was supposed to go to LA, but I think they changed that whole course direction and he went to Chicago instead. I'm sure there will be an explanation for that in the show. But Joseph Sikora does an excellent job as the actor. I know he's been on plenty of TV shows, but he hasn't really had a TV show where he is the main character. So obviously, a lot of intrigue about that. The fact you think about how prominent he was on the regular Power show. I understand a lot of people are excited because they feel as though this is the true continuation of Power. I think that Raising Kanan in book 2 still excellent shows, but I think this is the one that people really looking forward to because they really love the character. So what I enjoyed most about the trailer, yes, it was action packed. We see that he is caught in this whole conflict and he already has enemies because he mentioned in the trailer, I already have several enemies and he just got to town. So I'm curious to see that. Also, we know one of the prominent adversaries, somebody who he's going to have to work with in this trailer. I can't think of the actor's name right now. We saw him in the beginning of this trailer because his family is involved in this as well. And I'm assuming that Tommy is going to have to work with this guy. But this actor is known for playing a lot of villains in a lot of movies and TV shows as well. So I'm curious to see how that dynamic works within the actual show itself. But overall, yes, I'm very excited to see Tommy back. Very curious to see how his story continues. And of course, I think as a Power fan, when you saw him on Power, he was constantly considered Ghost's right-hand man. So for you to finally get the whole story of how he operates on his own without having to worry about Ghost, without having to worry about Tariq, at least for what we know so far, I'm looking forward to that more than anything else because we know that he is his own man. And I think that's what a lot of people are going to enjoy about the show more than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, just to kind of bounce off of that, like I do like, how they kind of showed us some of the characters he's going to be, interacting with in the trailer. We got like a good mix of some of the people he's going to encounter in his story. And I do like you said, Rich, I like the whole lone wolf aspect that we're going to see of him. And because he really comes across as like a freelancer in this, like, where he's just kind of doing his own thing, working with, he has the freedom to work with different people or whatever. But we see, in the trailer that he starts out, stealing, like basically stealing someone's drugs and money from them. But then, it looks like he goes on to actually work with, that guy, who was talking about it with the guy who got stolen from. Like they were having a conversation about it. It seems like Tommy is actually going to end up working with, that person. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that escalates, especially with Tommy's personality, because we know he has a real bold and brash kind of personality with these things. So it's going to be very entertaining. I like that the guy. It seems like he has an Irish accent or something, like one of the other mob bosses.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to get like an Irish mob or something like that, which will be interesting to see. Like you guys mentioned, we're going to see like the Chicago side of the mob, like the different, because in Chicago you have a lot of different gangs, very much like New York, but it's like they have like their own gang culture out there. So we're gonna get a little glimpse of that, which is gonna be pretty fun. And then also I saw there was a lady in there too. I don't know if that's a love interest or if it's someone Tommy knows from the past or something, at the end. So, that will be interesting to see because I'm wondering if he has any connections, and I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah, yeah, he does. He definitely does because he's been to Chicago before in the main power. So yeah, he probably has a lot of people there that he's already familiar with. And then he mentioned in the scene in the car, he mentioned he had three enemies. So I want to. That makes me curious about who these three enemies that he mentioned are gonna end up being, and if we're already familiar with at least one of them. So yeah, and then just as an extra little thing, I do think that there's the possibility we could see a character from the previous Power shows, like Two Bit, for example, show up in this, and that would be very interesting. If that were the case. Um, but yeah, those are some of the things that stood out to me. And also, on Instagram, 50 Cent mentioned that Tommy is, he's his favorite character, his personal favorite character is Tommy. So like he's super excited for this show, and I think that will reflect, the power, keyword power that this show will have with the audience. I think this is going to be because we saw Raising Canaan, kind of exploded. It was huge. A lot of people got back into it, who had taken a break from Power. I think this is going to be that again, because now you have like the one of the main characters, like it was Ghost and Tommy, and now Tommy is back. So I think there's going to be a lot of returning viewers and everything. So I can't wait to see that first week response. But I'm going to hand it back over to Dana again to kind of, just end things off and give us her spin on it.
Right. Well, to quickly, one thing I wanted to say, Joseph Sikora did do an interview where he revealed some details of what you can kind of expect going into this new world. And he stated that, Tommy has lost his brother Ghost. He lost a woman that he loves, Holly, and their unborn child. He lost Keisha. His mother's non existent. We always seen Tommy with something. We've seen what he hates, but also what he loves. And he's lost both. He's lost any connection that he had. Everybody is against him, and he's burned a lot of bridges. I think the problem Tommy runs into is that Chicago looks and feels close enough to New York, and he thinks, oh, this will be easy. But he later finds out that it's not that easy as he expected. He did tease that there will be some familiar faces in the new Power show, and that it doesn't necessarily mean that a character is there or alive. So we might get some ghosts of ghosts. Maybe what we've seen
Mm.
is specifically with Power Book 2 is the ghost of 50 Cent, the ghost of, we haven't seen Ghost, but it's always there. That presence of what you've lost in the past is going to probably drive you to what you have in the future. So that will be a very interesting thing. So this looks like it's going to be very good. I look very, like I said before, I look forward to what it has to present, and I look forward to see how we see Tommy move on from that past. We don't necessarily ever seen Tommy vulnerable, and if we can get to see that side of the character, I would really appreciate it to give us something more and to make it, he was already a three-dimensional character, but to give that even more dimension to it, to see him being vulnerable and in fact that he doesn't have anything, and his ego being shattered because he thinks he can easily take over another city. And that's not necessarily going to always be the case.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, there's so much possibility in this show, and I like how, the fact that you mentioned Dana when we last saw Tommy, he had a gun to his head from Monet, and then the whole disagreement with Tariq. So yeah, I do. I want to see how he kind of transitions into this whole new chapter of himself, and whether he's going to hold any of that, animosity, and if any of that will be reflected in the show as well. So yeah, I can't wait to see the ties that this show will have. But then also I think it's going to be very fresh at the same time. Like it's going to feel like a Power we haven't seen before, just because of that new setting, the new people, the new cast of characters. It's going to feel it's going to be like a fresh look at things, like sort of a fresh reset. And I do think it's going to be a lot more aggressive and violent as well than, of course, book 2, just because of Tommy's nature. So it's going to be pretty cool to see what they can do action wise and choreography and stuff like that. But what was you going to say, Dana?
Really speaking on if you have the growth of a character, remember how Tommy is extremely hot-headed.
Mhm.
And we remember that whole thing with Proctor. He literally will go at you guns blazing,
Yeah.
and doesn't really care about anything else. It would be really interesting if we see Tommy unable to do that, and to see him more of a strategic planner as opposed to just all-out anger. So I do hope that we do see him taking a different way of handling things.
Yeah, we might see some growth from him. That could definitely happen here. But yeah, is there any more thoughts on the trailer before we kind of end off here? I do want to know what the people watching this. Make sure you chime in, leave comments, let us know what you thought as well. But Richard, did you have like anything else at all you wanted to bring up about this, or what might happen?
Oh no. I think Dana covered everything pretty well in the description of what's happening in the show. I'm just looking forward to it. Very excited. I think the writers have done a great job with Razor Kanan. They've done an excellent job with the second season of Power of Book 2 Ghost. So I definitely think that this is going to be an even better show. So can't wait to see it. And of course, if you've been watching Powercast, you definitely know we will be covering this show episode by episode. So starting February 6th, make sure you come back to the channel and check out our coverage of Power Book 4 Force.
Yes, and also we're working with the interviews, and also really interesting. Let us know if you want to see any cameos from actual alive people.
Mhm.
We know of ghosts, but of live people. We recently there was an interview where the actor who was playing sax said that he would love to show up in Force. So what other people you would love to see as well?
Yeah, I love this. There's so much they could do with this. Like,
Basically, what 50 Cent created, like I've stated before, is the Marvel universe for drug dealer.
yeah, the drug dealer universe. Yeah,
Drug dealing
so
universe.
exciting. But yeah, that was just some quick thoughts on the trailer, and thanks to Dana for also giving us that deeper analysis, that deeper look at the show as well. With the facts and everything. So we will be back to, of course, cover this show. What's the date again? February
It is
6th.
February 6th.
6th?
Mhm.
February 6th. Okay, yeah, we will be here, recapping the show. So definitely look out for that. And yeah, also check out the Powercast, which is still running. We're still recapping Power Book 2 Ghost season 2 as we speak. So definitely check out those recaps as well, because it will be a good kind of segue into the Force show, which the finale and the premiere of this show, they happen the same day. So the finale of Book 2 Ghost, and then the premiere of Force same day. So, and we will be here to cover both. So look out for that. But shouts to all you good people. We hope to see you again when the show premieres. Take care until then, and we will be back. Peace out.